Hey there folks, welcome back to Salmon Rivers. Isn't this nice? Nice little aerial view of the wind farm and the forest that we're going to be making use of today. But we've got a few things to discuss first. Specifically these. I cannot stand abandoned buildings. I don't get it. I don't get them. Well, I mean, I do. There's not enough educated people to fill all the jobs, so they go out of business. And look, another one's popped up straight away. Anyway, let's forget that. What I've actually done off screen since the last recording, you might notice I've got quite a bit of money, which is a good thing. I managed to solve the issue of this little path, because it was driving me insane last time because I couldn't figure out how I could get it to work, so I instead just decided to do a raised path. It actually looks quite nice, I think. Nice little built walkway to go up the mountain. I've not actually seen it get used yet. I've seen this path is getting used, I've not seen this top one get used, but it's a nice little aesthetic feel. I enjoy it. And then I continued this path along the back, down behind the mountain to connect here, and then to connect off to this little path network over here. Now, the thing is with these paths, you might be thinking, well, what's the point in them? Well, if you actually look, people use it. And this is all in, well, it's all in the name of getting traffic down. Because people do actually use these. If I go over, see, there's still a lot of people down there. If I go over to this one here, look at this. See? Everybody walking. I will have a healthy population. There's so many people using this path. And as I said it in previous episodes, it's so people can walk to work. And they will walk to work if they've got a path and it's close enough. So, I mean, let's say somebody who lives all the way in Thornton Retreat who works somewhere in Walnut Industrial would probably not opt to walk because they've got like a nice little road to get there. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got the route to get there on foot, but you'll probably find more than likely that they will actually just drive. But, so that's the point in all my paths. I mean, look at this. It's so busy. So many people. My population is looking nice. I'm in 5 digits for a while now. What else did I do? I know there was one other thing I did, but I'm not going to show it until I've remembered what else I did. I think all I actually did, I moved the water. That's what I did. I moved the water source up a little bit because this polluted water is just getting closer and closer and closer again. So I've given it a good gap now. And I've also been over here and added this intersection. Yeah, there's quite a bit of traffic building up there actually. People trying to merge into the lane. So we've added this intersection for a later development that will take shape eventually, we will see. And what else I was going to say is I've actually added some more trees and filled out this forest a little bit more because that's the thing I'm going to be dealing with today. Once I've gone over a couple of other little things, like I want to make sure my healthcare is pretty much perfect, spot on for this area. All is not a lot of people sick. I've added a cemetery up here in Thornton Retreat because they pretty much had no coverage. Oh, a sauna. Could we fit a sauna in? And if we could, shall I put a sauna here? Let's put a sauna there. There you go. Medical helicopters, sports hall and gymnasium, community pool. Kind of forget that some of these things exist. They're a little bit expensive. Raises the health of people. Right, now, where was I? Why does the bus station look like it's a fire hazard? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna put fire watchtower. How's that gonna? Is that gonna help? No, it's not. I'm going to put another one there though. Oh, of course it's not going to help because the game's paused, Pete. Come on, man. There we go, that's a bit better. So I don't want my forest catching fire. Not that the tower will stop it from catching fire, but what will stop it from catching fire is the helicopter depot, which we will add. Just not right this second. I'm just checking a good coverage of services before we actually move on. Police is definitely fine. I've got a massive elementary school capacity. My high school capacity is just acceptable for who is eligible. And I don't want to add a university just yet. I just don't. I don't think it's not the right time or place. And all my transport routes are fine. Yeah. Parks. Got some nice parks. However, what I've not done is look into monuments yet. The Winter Market. Panda Sanctuary. Some very interesting ones here. Children come to the traffic park to learn traffic signs and rules. I don't think I've ever placed this. I'll have a quick look at what it's like. I've never placed it. I know it just cost me some money, but... Oh, hello. That's interesting. No, with the little cars. Isn't that sweet? We will have this, just not yet. Right, so what we're going to do now... Start with our industry roads. So let's change these to industry roads. They increase noise pollution, yeah, but it's fine. We kind of want them. Good for industry traffic. So I believe. I may be wrong. I don't know. I want this road to be a curve. Because we're going to go up here like so. I think this is where like the administration buildings can be and so forth. But for that time being, I just want a couple of little grid roads down here through the forest. And this can be our forestry district. That'll do me for now. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of demands and stuff going on. These abandoned buildings, they desperately want residential, but I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about that just yet. Oh, okay, see, I've forgotten how to actually do this. It's been a little while since I've done it. Okay. Industry area. So we paint over it like it is a district. Like so. Actually. Can come away from that side of the roundabout for now. I can always change it if I need to. Right. So that's my industry area. Forestry main building. I don't want to see... Has that done it? There we go. We unlocked a sawmill, small tree plantation, small log yard. I want this industry area off. I don't want to be able to see that while I'm building. I don't think you have a choice really, to be honest. I think you have to do it. Amity Forest Products. So I'll have, for now I'm just going to put 4 little tree farms there, 2 behind it. Oh, of course, Pete, water. Water and electricity. How did I forget this? Who's going to grow trees without water? Let's get these pipes going down here and then all the way along. Like so. And then we'll do the same down here. And cover that road. The admin buildings up here. Electricity. See, now the grid is, yeah, this is connected to the grid, and I've got an oil plant there and coal plants. So I think I'm just going to run power lines across, and I'm also going to increase the output of this a little bit more. Our wind farm's pretty full now. I don't think we're definitely not going to fit any more there, unless that's a really big, long area. You don't just want one giant wind farm there, though, do we really? I'm also going to put one there, actually. Make it 2, because then that at least connects that to the power grid, and then we can go from here to there. Done. Right, so these are beech trees, and these don't actually appear as conifers, I know that much, so, but we're going to set them to conifers because they will be palm trees. I think if you set them to conifer, it just, they model as the basic tree of the map set you're playing, so because we're on tropical, these will automatically just be palm trees. Which is fine. People have use for palm trees, don't they? Sure they do. One other thing I want to do while we're here, I wanted to get this up here if possible. Slope too steep. It's not going to look right on that corner, is it? No. I'd quite like it on a flat piece of land, but I want it there. So this is the helicopter fire depot. Actually fits nicely on that corner with that land, personally I think that looks good. Thought my microphone was off then for a moment. That also needs electricity. Can branch off of there, like so. There you go, you have electricity. Should have already have water. Ooh, what's full? Is it my landfill? Yeah, my landfill's full. So empty building to another facility. So they'll start transferring garbage from here to this landfill and to other facilities like the recycling centre and the incineration plant that I put down up here, which I just remembered I didn't actually show I'd put this in here, but it was to increase my garbage processing because it really wasn't looking good. So I just made that little change. So I've got a couple of forestry trucks. The sawmill I'm going to put it on the top road. I think we'll have it put here at the end, with another one just next to it. 2 sawmills. So they'll say not enough raw materials because right now they don't. They also need electricity. Right now there's not really enough trees. I think it'll look better if I just connect the pylons. Because obviously we don't have a massive amount of trees yet. These aren't full of workers. There's not enough people here just quite yet. So this really is going to be an ongoing project. And I want a small log yard to be right down here out of the way. The end of the road. Yep, that's fine. That'll do. So obviously, and this is storage. So for now, that's probably all we need. I've probably gone way overboard with 2 sawmills. As it levels up, as you can see from here. So I need another 70 workers to level up, and it needs to produce another 400 units. And of course, it's not making profit at the moment because it's not producing enough. It will do eventually, but that's why we've got a bit of extra money to tank the losses from this. Anyway, swiftly moving on. Swiftly moving on, we will be expanding out here. So I'm going to take a 4-lane one-way road. I'm going to do what I did. How much space have I got? I've got quite a lot of space to work with here. And I'm going to do what we did when we first started. I'm going to create Handful Salmon's signature roundabout. Don't quite know how signature it is, really. Realistically, do we? I mean, I don't know if anybody else has used this design other than myself. It's just something I like to do. I think it looks cool. Make sure they match up. And complete the circuit. That's nice. Wow, it's actually quite massive. But it's fine. It's fine for the moment, because it's only a small development. Swap those roads around. And actually, while I'm here as well, I'm going to upgrade the highway as a whole. 2-lane highway. I want the ramps to just be 2-lane highways. I don't know whether that actually does you any good, making them 2-lane highways as off-ramps, but I want to try it and see what happens. Make the actual highway itself 4 lanes. Across, right, there you go, so that's the junction completed at least. All the way up there. So that's now all a 4-lane highway. Is it all the way up here? No, did I not make this 4-lane? I don't think I did. So let's also upgrade this intersection. I know why, that's because this is 4-lane with sound barriers is what I want. I know we said we wanted the sound barriers because it's not far from a residential area. Is it now? That should do. And then, I know it'll go down to a 3 eventually, but I'll make it all a 4. There we go. Quite a big highway now. Works, does its job. We're still okay for traffic over here, really. The roundabout will start getting used more and more. The more people actually start to come through this area on a very quickly. Edit these. Stop people slowing down at the junctions. So I'm basically just telling them that they can enter the junction freely. And now I'm going to do your typical giveaways to traffic already moving on the roundabout. Like so. And now it will function like a normal roundabout. Or it should do at least. Oh, good grief. I'd forget everything if I could. I'd forget my head if it weren't screwed on. There you go. You now have electricity. So this log storage is being used, as you can see. There's some piling up now. We've got some vehicles coming in here. Assuming they're coming in here and not just turning around. They are. They're all coming and storing log products. We're still not making a profit at all. Because apparently I'm still importing some wood. My money's not changing either. So, for the moment, let's just add 1, 2, 3 more. So now our production will be even higher. Albeit slightly, but it's more. It's enough. You know, it's what we need. This confuses me. Why are people, unless they just want to turn around? But it's not a turning service, it's people confuse me so much. Sometimes. Anyway. I want to go for a large road. Not a large, well a medium sized road. 4-lane road with decorative trees. I want middle tree to be palm tree. And I'm going to leave the street lights as they are, but we'll have palm trees on the roads over here. Oh, I'm going to upgrade, that's why, that might help. And I'm going to bring this out 20. A bit of a sharp curve, I think 5. 5, like so. That'll be fine. 20 again. 10. 10. And where can I fit this up to? There, that'll do. And off of here to join there. 2-lane road with grass will do, I think, to connect all these up. Like so there. Like so there. No, that doesn't work. That makes it worse. Distance too short. Is it out of bounds? That'll do, that's fine. And down the back of here, like so, and then that one can connect to there. One more here. Yeah, that's fine, I think that's going to work. So we've got a little district here. This, for the time being, let's just get some pipes under here. So we're all ready to go on this build as soon as possible, really. So that's all covered, and now I'm going to cover the roundabout because, well, no, there's no because, we'll see. We'll see why I'm going to cover the roundabout. I'm also waiting for somebody to one day come along and say, oh, you're wasting so much time and money doing these. See, that looks a bit stupid really, doesn't it? But personally I enjoy it. It makes sense. It's logical, real world sense. Where do you lay your pipes? Under the roads. You know, because they're easily accessible. Excuse me. Now, I can go up here and connect straight off to that one. So now this is connected with water. I'm going to go back to my medium-sized road. This one, that's the one I've already got selected. Where do I want this turning? I want it in there. That's where I want it. And this is going to be a longer road, 40 that way. But then it's going to branch off here and come across 50. Because there's going to be one that comes off here, 20. I'm actually going to bring that down there then and connect that. And from the middle of this road you can go down to there. And let's go back to my smaller roads. Smaller roads just with grass will do. So first things first, 10 there, and then another 10, and another 10 to connect those. 15? Oh no, it's too close to the intersection there. Do you know what? I'll just have that run in parallel and connect to that intersection. That can come straight across all the way, and then we'll have one come down here to connect there. I'll have one road come straight through the middle there, but on this side I want that to come up to there and that to come out a little bit more. No, I'm going to have to rebuild it. That to come, where was it? There. So as we can see here, areas are forming. Do I want a main road going up the back of there as well? I do, I really do. I don't want to make it a square, but $35. It's not entirely a square, it's oddly shapen. At least moderately. 25 connects, and there you go, that's quite handy, straight from that intersection up there. I know it's gritty and it's not entirely square though, is it? It's not. No, it's definitely not. I don't think it is anyway. Ah well. Anyway, time for a few aesthetic details. So anyway, traffic's building up quite mightily. God forbid why. I don't know why nobody wants to use the big roundabout I've given them. Because it's not a direct route, I guess. Damn sods. Well, we'll see how that turns out anyway. And yes, I have changed the radio station, and we are now profiting from Forestry. And soon it will level up when we get enough workers, but that's really being hindered by the fact that I don't have a new residential area yet. We've pretty much just been, oh, I spoiled it already, I might as well just show you. We don't have a new residential area. Anyway, that's what this will be. So when I last showed this area to you guys, we've just started building it, so I think I'm ready to start getting some zoning put in here now. The aesthetic changes I was making with some nice little paths and, you know, creating like a little city layout, and, you know, we've got to have a little footbridge. I mean, come on. Footbridge over the highway entrance. I think it looks really cool. So before I actually zone it, I'm going to put services in. Traffic's moving nicely until it gets to this junction. It's been fine on and off, so I'm just going to see what happens with it for the moment and see where that takes us. I wanted to have a look at my monuments as well, because we've got some things that are going to need placing eventually, like the statues here, transport tower, Mall of Moderation. But I've nowhere to put Mall of Moderation as of yet. I don't think there's nowhere to fit it unless I'm demolishing lots of people's buildings. How does that actually look? That looks very silly. I think that does it looks silly. Don't worry, didn't cost a lot of money. It's fine. We'll just make these shops again. We'll find places to put monuments eventually. Let's see what else I can actually get right now. The courthouse, official park, the tax office, the lungs of the city. This is a nice one. Put the lungs of the city right next to the industrial estate. Yeah, definitely. Good idea. Oh, observatory would be so nice up here. That would be cool. The oppression office. Oh, the sea fortress. Some of these are cool. Aquarium. Servicing services office. Expo centre. We're getting to the seriously big ones right now. Central Park. I want so I've put the Statue of Industry in Coleridge Hills near the industrial estate. Hopefully it should eventually attract some sort of tourists. And we're going to put the Statue of Wealth. Is it the Statue of Wealth? Yeah, Statue of Wealth is going to go here in what will be our new town. I'm going to put some parks in first before I do anything. A small park there. And a small playground there. Bouncy Castle Park. The Japanese garden. I'm going to have a couple of these because they're nice and small and they fit in well. Dog park. Right, so we've got some of those in. Services. Big hospital. Where though? Does that fit? It does fit perfectly into that gap, doesn't it? There, because it covers everything. So we've got a big hospital. A large fire department. We'll also cover everything there. The fire watchtower there. Should change up a few of those. Yep, definitely help there. Police station. Police headquarters. We want now. And I'm going to put this. I want to keep this down here, I think. Oh, I don't know where I want this. Back here will do. Keep services nice and close together if I can. So elementary schools. I think I'm going to want at least 2, if not 3. There. 1 there. So I'm going to put... Where's it working at high schools? High school at the back there. 1 down here. And the fabled university. I think it'll fit nicely there. So people are now going to start travelling here for university and potentially even for school. So I've got all my necessary services, just no power as of yet, but I'll deal with that in a minute. So we're going to start zoning this off, and we're now using, this is going to be high density residential, so I'm going to start off in this corner like so, and wait for all these to start building. And that should more than likely be enough for the moment. Where do I want to limit the construction to, really? Do you know what? I want it down here. Just be a nice little I'll give me my industrial road. And come down off here 25. Can bring that along up to there to expand forestry, but then here 12, let's go underground. Yeah, I actually quite like that. It's a little strange tunnel. I've never seen that tunnel before. But it's for the industry, so it's fine. But I want to keep this nice and separate, at least for now. And I don't want it to be massive. The 3-lane asymmetrical road. You might be wondering why. I'm going to just move it on this, it'll be a lot easier. But it's not the right way around, is it? So I want the 2 lanes leaving the city, and we'll tree wall this off a little bit. So we have been doing with everything else, because these guys are going to start complaining soon unless they get some serious power. Put in some beech trees quickly. So overall, this will be a nice aesthetic, I believe. But I would definitely want a nice tree wall between the city and this little industrial area that's going to be exposing off to the side, off to the centre of it. So let's get some power in now before it gets too late. So these oil power plants. We're going to need to connect to the main grid somehow. No, do you know what? I think I've made a bit of a mistake here. Do I get a full refund for these? No, of course I don't. If I connect that to the grid there, and then outwards from here, let's make it more so there, I think, because then I can come straight down. And cross the highway, like so. Voila, power. Power where it matters. And then that needs water. Obviously it was a new road, so I didn't actually finish that off as such, did I? Let's just water coverage this as well while I'm here. It gives us some more connections to the main network, and looking at my water, I'm doing alright for the moment actually. I was expecting to need a lot more water soon. Well, this abandoned building crisis will end eventually. Oh, I'm still nearly there for workers. Maybe if I put another building or two in. That looks strange. No, it's right. Yeah, that's fine. So I've got a couple more tree farms. And there we go, and that was literally enough to do it. So I've reached level 2. 4% efficiency and minus 10 pollution, and the following buildings: furniture factory, sawdust storage, worker barracks, tree sapling field, and a biomass pellet plant. So, where can we go from here, you might ask? Well, the first thing I want to do is get a workers barracks. If it'll let me put it down here, I bet it won't.
No matter what stage of life you're in, we have the perfect noodles for you. From birthday noodles to wedding noodles, all the way to those most final of noodles. Every occasion has a noodle at yakisoba, so experience something.
How does that look?
Yakisoba. It literally means fried noodles.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess, actually. It's not even interfered with the power cables. So we've now got a workers barracks, and I've only got the sapling field, but biomass pellet plant is a strange building if I remember correctly. I'm gonna have to take Anarchy back off before I start doing silly things. I want that to go there, down near storage, and I'm also going to place a third sawmill there, because the tree sapling fields, it's not in the industry area, damn it. Let's just extend that a teeny little bit to cover that as well. That'll do, because I want to put the tree saplings here like so. Baby trees. That's a greenhouse. Oh, I don't know. I think the greenhouse looks better personally. No, I've done it wrong. What have I done now? Because I was moving the wrong one, that's why. It needs to be one gap away from the road, like so. So it's now level 2. I've already produced enough resources to the next level. Now it's just a case of waiting for the workers. Profit is still the same. It's good, it's making us money. Traffic's still a bit awful there. As you can see, the residential demand has dropped massively. But what I'm going to do is I'm still going to add those as residential zones. So like these ones here, like so. There, there, and there. But then I'm going to make these commercial. And that's going to start alleviating the commercial demand. Bridging the gap, especially around the centre, because I quite actually like this, will be offices. Now, offices are just, they work on the industry demand. So I have no industry demand at the moment, so no offices are actually likely to be built here right now. But they will eventually as the demand increases, and especially I've also got the forestry area, of course, will also take some of that demand. So that's why you'll probably see we'll have no demand for any industry for a long time from now on. And that's purely because we have a lot of places for people to work now. People have a lot of choice. So anyway, I've just put in some more recycling centres and an incineration plant. And to connect them to the main grid, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a power pylon over here, and hopefully that'll do it. Please light up. Yep, there we go, there's power. So it's now nice and easy to distribute power across the city like so. And I'll just put in another power plant down there. And now all my electricity is still on the same grid. We're actually doing really, we've got so much production available. But it's now water that's going to slowly become the problem. Oh, I've got a fire. Please tell me it's not a forest fire. I think it's just a normal building fire. Please tell me you're going to put the trees out as well. I hope they do. Yeah, I think... Wow, they have. Wow, prevented a disaster. Good work, guys. I'm not sure which building this is that wants demolishing. Tiny little one there. I have been trying so hard to keep on top of these abandoned buildings, but they just get out of hand so easily. There's people saying they've not got enough workers, they've not got enough workers. I think I know where all this traffic's coming from, actually. It's all coming from this new little city area, isn't it? It's got to be. I demolished the wrong building. Ah, it's fine. Do for now. Now we're just having people complain that they just don't have enough workers, period. And I mean, all my demands are as low as they can get, so I'm not quite sure how that works. This landfill is still emptying. And people are using my big roundabout, but it's mostly the forestry traffic that seems to be using it. But see, I don't want to not let people have the option to go straight into town, but they're just ignoring it for whatever reason. This heavy traffic ban really didn't seem to work. What about if I... for people going straight... Is all of this industrial traffic? It pretty much looks like it is. They're all coming from this side as well now, so we're going to have to come up with a solution. But I don't think that'll be done until next time, to be perfectly honest, because we are coming up on the end of the episode. We've got a nice little area starting to sprout. We're getting a skyline now. The game is called City Skylines, but we're actually building a skyline very slowly, apart from all those annoying icons in the background. That's really going to ruin it for me. But we're getting there. Hopefully all these areas will eventually start filling out. We will district this off. It will be a district, and then this miniature city is going to expand and cover this half of the square as well. So we'll probably end up clover leaving this intersection to expand further on this side, and this will be our city, so to speak, wherein this is, you know, the suburbs and the towns, Coleridge Hills and Belmont Heights being the little town centres, Walnut Industrial between, the Forestry where everyone can work, offices in the city. You know, it'll turn out great, I think. Eventually, everything's still running smoothly over here for the time being. And as people start to demand residential, they can start to live over here. Like so. And I think I'll office this off as well. See, offices are a nice buffer zone between commercial and residential, so that people don't like the noise pollution that comes with the residential buildings. But offices don't produce the noise pollution, and they're technically a and they're technically a workplace, so it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. And I will maybe zone this out with a little bit of industry afterwards, but this is probably more so where some services are going to go, to be honest. And this little industry road here that connects to the forestry. It's also just another connection across, really. I think that's what we need to try and get, is multiple connections. This is probably something that I'll come up with the best solution I possibly can, and then we'll deal with that in the next episode. So we're expanding nicely. We've done quite a lot over here so far. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. And if you do have any suggestions, especially regarding how we should build out this new city, please feel free to drop a comment. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.